Alright gang, Kevin here. Factotum Jack Home Repair. So, we're going to jump into switches. So, obviously, I've cut myself a bunch of leads. Did I cut myself enough leads? Oh yes I did. Alright, so I'm going to do these the same style because I'm doing it on a bench, but if you're doing it inside of a box, probably at your house, here's your switch. As you can see, we went over this last time. Silver was neutral, gold is hot, right? And what do you see here? There's only hot on here because you're using the switch off, on to break or make the connection, right? So you're just separating a hot. I have seen it before. Some people used to break the neutral in a pinch or something. It is not the code. Do not break a neutral with a switch because you're still sending power to the outlet. You want to sever or to the light or whatever your switch operates, fan. But don't always have hot coming in, hot going out. It doesn't matter. Actually, you can reverse these because it does not matter which direction. Maybe your power comes down and then it goes to like a floor fan or something. Maybe it goes to an outlet on the floor. And you walk into an old room and you flick power on and it turns an outlet on. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with electricity. It's kind of cool. And then you have, obviously, this whole tab is mounted together and you're grounding with your ground screw right here. So normally you would, you'd have one going to your light, for example, and one coming from your power source, and you would tie those in coming out of your handy box. And then typically you would have, I'm just grabbing this as an old chunk, but you'd grab your neutral would be, there'd be two neutrals, one coming from your power source, one going coming back obviously from your light, and you would tie those together with a wire nut inside your box, and you tie all your grounds together inside the box, and essentially the only thing that's being affixed to this is a ground and supply and output power, load power. Line, supply, line, whatever, and load, which is your end result where the power's going. And so that's your switch in nuts and bolts. And now you get, because I know how much you guys love watching me strip wire, you're gonna watch me do this. Now see, this is like those outlets I was telling you about. This is not as an expensive of a switch, hence I have to take my stranded wire and put it into a hoop, which is just more of a pain in the butt. And that's why it's better to spend a little extra money if you can. Obviously, I just went out to my garage and found these because I thought I bought switches and I must not have. I may have just thought I had them, and so obviously same rules apply to your hoop. You're going to make sure that it can draw into itself, it won't push out, and you're going to make that connection. And there's your one lead for your switch. And you just make the hoop and tighten it down righty tighty. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for one outlet or one switch just to show you, and then you can go to your house and do them on your own. And then for the next video, I'll show you guys how we do that with our conduit or junction box, our junction box cover, similar to the outlet video we just put out. So yeah, and you'll notice that there's no screws screwed down on this one because obviously you're going to use everything that you've got here, because why would you not, right? Like, why would you have power going into a switch and nothing coming out of it except for a ground? Because you want to be safe. That wouldn't make sense. And as you can see, I'm fighting with this because it's a pain in the ass because it is stranded wire, and this is why you should have those special. You should have a special switch with your special little tabs. Sometimes using a flathead screwdriver makes, without cutting your finger like I think I just did, makes for all the difference. And tightening that down, boom. And obviously before you send this off to go into your junction box, you're going to have each of your leads stripped. If you have leads, if you don't have leads and you're just tying into the box, you're doing all of this on site out at your box and your convenience. So and sometimes it's not as convenient as sitting on the desk and just banging these guys out. And obviously, and that's how I had to do it on the outlets in the last video. I had to add my grounds in a hoop shape. I think the video for you guys, I had used the Romex wire, but for my grounds in the other two outlets I made, I used stranded wire. So I ended up having to do this, and it's just it is what it is. It's got a firm connection on it. And yeah, see, as you can see, I can almost bend it out. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm going to end up redoing that. And similar to, I'm going to test one of those rubber bands out with this bad boy. And see how they work on it. I know they work on outlets. I wonder if they say reusable, clean, reusable solution to traditional electrical tape applications. Quick, 2 times faster, 33% wider, durable. They just say insulated. Specifications. It does not say if you could use them on a switch or if they're just for outlets. So I'm going on a limb and I'm going to try it. Because if it doesn't fit the way I want it to, then I am not going to utilize it. If it does, then I'm in luck and I'm a happy camper. Oh, and you know what? Let's try to get this locked inside that tab. Dead silence. There. I like that a little bit better. I don't like how short I made that lead for the ground, but it is what it is. I'm going to whip up another one of those. We'll see you guys on the next video here shortly.